What's up everybody, welcome to a brand new video on the channel. This video is going to be very different than the videos I've done in the past. This video, I'm actually going to be doing some commentary. CBC Marketplace recently released a video about the CRA scam being traced back to India. I'm going to put the link in the description down below for you to check out the full video from CBC Marketplace, but I'm going to go over some of the parts that I felt were the most important and the most pressing for us to understand these scams.
Investigation Division of Counter Revenue Agency. Can I help you?
Yes, hello. I am calling because of a message received to call you back that said that money was owed.
All right, Mr. Common. The reason behind this call is that we have done a random audit on your tax filings of last few years, and we have found several miscalculations in your tax filings.
It's one of the largest cyber schemes in Canadian history. Fake CRA calls threatening thousands of Canadians.
This call is from the Canada Revenue Agency.
And after months of digging, we've traced those fake CRA calls to India.
Okay, so the video opens up with this little clip of what they typically say about a lawsuit being filed against your name. So that's the first thing you need to be aware of, is the Canada Revenue Agency will never call you to say there's a lawsuit filed against your name.
The criminals are using victim vulnerability, and it's not every day and every Canadian citizen that is being victimized by this. It is the vulnerable, the elderly, new immigrants to Canada that may not know all of our laws.
So their target is basically the elderly and the vulnerable and the new immigrant, right? So with the new immigrants, I find that part of the reason why they're so trusting as far as taking these calls is, one, because the number is spoofed, but second is because sometimes back where they're from, their government does call them. And so to hear that the Canada Revenue Agency is calling them, they do take it serious. They just don't know that it's a scam yet.
The scammers can spoof numbers, make it look like they're the CRA. That's why so many of us take the call. In just 5 years, Canadian authorities have received more than 60,000 complaints.
I honestly thought that this number would be a little bit bigger, but it's still a lot of people.
Over $10 million stolen. And those numbers keep rising.
3,600
This one is 7,000.
makes it $10,600,
And this one is 28,000.
and then finally $28,000.
Yeah.
What did they say to you?
There's a warrant out for me that I owe money, and they're going to send me to jail. They're going to compensate my property. They're going to contact my employers and freeze all my assets.
And the total amount he paid?
110,000 altogether. 45,000 was my RSP, and then $5,000 my saving account, $4,000 for my last paycheck checking account, $5,000 from my son, and the rest, credit card, line of credit. I scan it.
His life savings gone. Disappeared into an untraceable Bitcoin machine.
So as you can tell by the accents of the first two gentlemen, the first one sounds like he's from the Caribbean somewhere, and the second man is obviously from Iran, as they stated here. So definitely at sometimes a lot of people who do get scammed here are the people who are immigrants.
The scammers are smart, their technology sophisticated, constantly changing tactics to stay hidden.
When you see the phone number, it looks like it's a Canadian number, not an Indian number.
So they spoof the number. So these softwares themselves, these very sophisticated and very great software, are being misused.
And he says there's a reason the callers are asking for the money in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency. A cryptocurrency cannot be traced. It just cannot be traced, come what may.
When you hand that money over, it is gone.
It's gone.
Okay, so two things here. The first, with regards to the spoof of the phone number, I know that when I talked to the last scammer that quote-unquote confessed, he told me that they would get phone numbers online from like our own providers like Rogers, TELUS, and all those kinds of things. And then with regards to the Bitcoin, it's interesting that with me, what they tried to do is they did try to get me to do some Bitcoin, but they also tried to get me to do the Steam cards. And those are also not traceable based on the fact that you're just giving them a serial number off the card. So it's kind of crazy how they're really trying to keep themselves like ninjas, like untraceable.
2 years ago, the largest call center scam in this country's history came to an abrupt end, all because investigators in this police station found out what was going on, ultimately arresting hundreds of people.
So how long have you been police commissioner here?
The top cop behind the raid was Parambir Singh.
We seized a lot of equipment, arrested a lot of people.
They lived a great life, the ringleaders.
Yes, one of the main accused, Sagar Thakkar, alias Shaggy, he had a very, very high-profile lifestyle. He was probably thinking of buying a private jet also at that point of time.
A private jet?
He was thinking of buying one, yes.
That gives you a sense of just how much money was involved here.
Yes, it does give us a sense.
You have taken action on this scam.
That's right.
Do you think that it is still operating?
The IRS scam, I think, more or less has been wiped out from this country.
But our detective work shows it has not been wiped out. There are new scammers in town.
Okay, so here I have two questions. He mentioned that a lot of people got arrested. I don't know what the process is like in India, but just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're convicted. And so I don't know if any of those people are actually doing hard time, I guess you could say. The second question deals more with the fact that he mentioned that he truly believes that, you know, the IRS scam is completely gone. Now, the journalist goes, well, our detective work showed that it wasn't. I mean, you can just realize if you just go on YouTube and look up scams that it's alive and well. I don't understand how this guy could say he feels like it's completely gone from his country. It's insane.
And as we continue our chase to find an active scam center, we need the inside scoop. Meet whistleblower Jayesh Dubey.
It was big money.
Yeah, it was big money.
More than you would make anywhere else.
I cannot make it anywhere now.
Just 2 years ago, he worked at a different scam center, following a script and impersonating an American tax agent.
Thank you for calling IRS. How may I help you? So we were trained like that to become an IRS officer, to pretend to be like an IRS officer.
You're threatening people.
Yeah,
You're saying they could go to jail, they could get arrested.
You could get arrested if you try to fight against the IRS. Then the penalty is $75,000, which you can never pay, and your assets and all is going to get freed.
Okay, this guy seems like he actually wants to help people now by becoming a whistleblower, but I wonder myself, did he repay all the people that he defrauded when he was working there? Just because you're a whistleblower now doesn't mean that you didn't stiff people before, you know what I mean?
Why did you stay on the phone with him and not say, I need to hang up and call my accountant or do some research?
Because I believe that he's trying to help me. When I realized I was so angry with myself, you know, that I should have done something like this, you know, that I should contact the police. But the way how he approached me, very professional, right, and very scary, that I thought that he is an officer.
This is the thing with the CRA scammers. Some of them sound like legit. Their English is actually pretty decent. They don't sound like their names that they say, though. They don't sound like an Adam Smith or a David Nathan or a Harvey Ross. But then there are some of those who have like really thick accents and they don't sound like an Adam Smith or David Nathan. So I'm hoping that people can start to pick up on the accents and just the thickness of them to be able to figure out that this is actually a scam.
We're just minutes away now from an apartment where we know a call center has been operating. We know these people are dangerous. We also know this area can be dangerous. And so we're working with some local Indian journalists to help us get inside.
But after driving past the address, our helpers have a warning.
Do you think we can safely go in the building?
No, you can't go safely in the building, no.
You can do it. And why is that? What is the danger?
Because it's a total slum area and many people like these frauds will come to know.
Okay, I don't understand why these journalists would go and call other journalists to go and look at the call center instead of calling the police. I mean, if you have a tip or you have an idea or like he says he knows there's a call center operating, why would you not call the police to come and raid the place? Unless, of course, the police are on it. But, you know, that's the thing. Why take that risk? That's really risky. He knows it's a dangerous situation. I just ask you, whoever's listening, if you ever get defrauded by these guys, please do not go to India to try to find these guys. It's really, really dangerous.
But then our man on the inside hangs up and sends this urgent text message.
So it's now clear to us this area is dangerous, that we need to get out, that we're being watched, and that the people who went into the building for us, they're being followed.
This is worrying. We need to get out of the area fast. Kilometers away, we catch up with those helping us, and they are scared.
We know there was a call center in that apartment.
Yeah.
But it's gone.
It's gone, yeah. There were 5 guys in 1 minute standing down the building watching us. They followed us like for 1.5 kilometers. So we came all the way in the small lanes, cutting the roads.
To escape.
To escape, yes.
Does that look like the face of a guy who feels like he's safe? Come on, man.
Chased on foot, then on motorcycle. This criminal gang wants to protect themselves and has already shown a willingness to be violent.
In certain cases, I wouldn't hesitate to say that the police might also be hand in gloves with them.
You mean the police are profiting?
Yep.
So the scammers are giving the police money?
Well, that's common.
This is one of the unfortunate things about living in a third world country. You know, the police can be very corrupt. I remember we got pulled over one time with my brother and his group, and they asked us to give them money so that they would let us go. And it's unfortunate, but it wouldn't surprise me that that would be the case in India either, that the police would be hand in hand with these criminals to give them protection. And, you know, they're getting money, right? So some people, you know, they sell out very easily. Their values and their integrity gets sold out pretty easily.
Jayesh agrees.
Do you think people here in India who are doing this scam feel safe?
Yeah, they are safe. They are safe from the police of my country and also from the Americans.
Why do you say that?
Because whomsoever was working with the IRS, like they have that security, you know, paying to the police and all.
Paying off the police here?
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying the police are basically part of the scam in this country?
Of course, yeah.
It's a international investigation and it's international crime. Until everybody tries, it cannot be just said to be the responsibility of India.
Look, there's no denying that it has to be a joint effort with other countries, especially the ones that are being defrauded. But you can't say it's not the responsibility of India. At the end of the day, this is where the root is, where these crimes are taking place. You can't just treat the symptom. You have to treat the cause, the root cause, and it's in your country. You have to take care of it in your country.
So who is responsible? The top cop here, Commissioner Parambir Singh, he blames the RCMP.
Nobody contacted us from Canada.
No one's contacted?
No one contacted. American authorities did contact us. No one contacted. Although on the website of RCMP, we did see a post relating to our cases once. But
you're telling me 60,000 people at least have complained in Canada and nobody from Canada has told you anything?
Nobody contacted.
And the only way you found out about it is by going on the RCMP website yourself?
That's right, yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
It doesn't seem right.
And see, this is part of the issue. I remember I tweeted the RCMP and even the police service in the city that I live in, and they said there's nothing they can do about it. Absolutely nothing they can do about it. They can't even file a report because this crime is being committed in another country, which I think is ridiculous, because there should be a way for these countries to work together to bring these crimes down. But they're just saying, oh, there's nothing we can do. And that's kind of irresponsible, I find, on the police service or the RCMP in our country.
The Indian police, they were willing to talk to us, but for more than 2 months, the RCMP, our own police, refused our repeated requests for an on-camera interview. And then at the last moment on the day of broadcast, senior government officials called us up to say they are now in contact with Indian police, even if at this point we have not yet seen any action.
No one police service is going to do it. No one government is going to do it. It has to be a multi-jurisdictional task force approach where everybody's involved.
Sounds like you're saying someone needs to light a fire.
Yes, a big one.
I completely agree with this guy. Multiple countries have to come together and go after these scammers, because if you don't, what's going to happen is they're going to keep popping up left, right, and center. And if you don't make the punishment harsh enough, they're going to keep popping up left, right, and center. Anyways, guys, those were my thoughts on this video. I'm going to leave a link to the full video in the description below for you to check out the CBC Marketplace video. Please make sure you share it with a friend. at the end of the day, if we can help more people become more aware of these fraudsters and how to avoid them and how to just completely destroy them when they call you, then we're doing something good and we're helping people. So anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.